Let me know, is everything okay? How's the stream? Anybody in here? What's poppin'? What's happening? What's Gucci? What's poppin'? Okay, we back to good health on the stream. All right. Scaring me for a second. You know what I mean? It was kind of low key scaring me. But let's get into it. So we'll go over XAU USD. We will start on the monthly time frame, just as usual. We are in a new month. So what we've been saying before is we've had previous structure support once, twice, thrice, fourth time. This time broke below, closed below. Price is now retesting this area, and this is the beginning of this monthly candle. So just because this candle is like this, remember this is the monthly candle. It has 28 days before this candle will close. As it is right now, it's just extremely overextended to the downside. It did break and close below some structure, so we could expect further continuation to the downside after a retracement. If we look at the weekly time frame, we are starting to get the retracement. You can see we've had previous structure support and resistance right in the supply demand candle as well. That could be a good opportunity as to where the market may go to before it ends its retracement. And then if we do look on the daily, if we do look here, whether the market wants to continue trend to the downside or go ahead and make a move to the upside, it would need to break several levels of structure before we start to look for a buy opportunity. So we need to break up in here. But we could see an opportunity where the market comes around some of these areas and starts to reject, giving us the rejection starting to break down as well. So just be on the lookout for that on XAU USD. Just as it is right now, breaking structure. If it does provide the correct retracement, you could look for a continuation to the upside. And then from there, start to look for moves after it shows you that it wants to go in that intended direction. If we look at XAG-USD on the monthly time frame, what can we identify? On the monthly, we are starting to make a move to the upside. We did retest previous structure resistance that is now acting as support. So we did come into this area and we're starting to make a move to the upside as well, breaking above some structure. But remember, this is early on in this daily candle. We haven't closed yet, but if we drop down to the weekly, we are starting to break above some structure on the weekly where we could possibly see retest of this area and a continuation to the upside possibly. If we do look at the daily, depending on where this daily impulse ends, just as we've always been looking for, we could see a possible move to the upside and then a retest of this area for a continuation to the upside. XPT USD on the monthly. Some of the same things. We are starting to reject these lows down in here that we did have a area of support right here. I did come into it, not really break below anything, and then from there reject from the bottom and make a move to the upside is what we're starting right now. So we did come into a level of support, almost like a double bottom in this situation. We could see further continuation to the upside, and that is just from the monthly time frame. On the weekly, let's see if we have anything confirming. And we do have a market that is pushing to the upside as it is right now. So we do have the most common pattern in the market, which is just an impulse retracement. You want to see the next impulse continue the trend for a higher high to be created. So I would like to honestly see this break above some structure before I start to look for any more buy opportunities on this market, just the way that it is right now. This could possibly provide a good opportunity depending on how the retracement comes from this area, but I don't think that this would be a good spot for me to go ahead and look for an opportunity. US oil monthly time frame, we had previous structure resistance, now turned support that we did break and close below. Starting this month, you can see that we are starting to retest this area quite nicely. And if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that it is a nice easy impulse to the downside, coming back for a retracement, retesting previous structure support that should now act as resistance. You just want to see the continuation to the downside, continuing trend. But if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see that we are breaking structure to the upside. So we would need to see the time frames all in alignment before we start to look for possible opportunities on this pair. Euro USD on the monthly pushing to the downside very aggressively. We did find a level of support right around in here as it currently shows with this monthly candle. We are starting to make some sort of retracement. We could retest previous structure support that should now act as resistance. Previous support that should now act as resistance over on this side. Then if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see we are starting to get a real nice and easy setup. Move to the downside, come back for the retracement, retest previous structure support that should now act as resistance. We just want to see a continuation to the downside just for further trend continuation. GBP USD on the monthly time frame pushing to the downside very aggressively as well. We did find a level of support briefly on this time frame as the candle indicates, but if we do drop down to the weekly time frame, you can see we had a push down. We do have a level of support right in this area that could be possible resistance for a continuation to the downside, but if it manages to break above that level, we could see a possible move to the upside after a retracement for some trend continuation as well, just for this market to go ahead and give some relief after all of this massive sell-off. We could have a possible situation where we do just look for a little bit of exhaustion before we continue to the downside. AUD USD on the monthly time frame pushing to the downside. We did find a level of support. We are starting to make some sort of retracement, and that is on the monthly time frame. If we look at the weekly time frame, what can we identify is that we have previous structure support down in here that could be possibly used as previous structure or current structure resistance, excuse me. If we look at the daily time frame, you can see we failed to break lower, creating a double bottom since we did not get the break and close below this area. We did get rejection here and a rejection here. We could expect more continuation to the upside on the daily time frame. USD CAD on the monthly time frame. If we look at USD CAD on the monthly, that monthly candle from last month finished extremely bullish with a lot of momentum to the upside. So far this month, we are starting a little retracement. On the weekly, you can see we are very extended to the upside. We do have previous structure here that could be a possible place the market comes back to before we continue to the upside, but doesn't need to necessarily as long as it gets to that 382 of the overall impulse. And if we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see just the inverse of what is probably going to be a lot of the USD pairs because they are correlated, as we do have a double top in this situation where we had a market push up, find a level in the market, and then we failed to break and close above that level. So from there, we can expect some continuation to the downside, but that could, 16 hours. Thank you, Siri. But that could be for a brief moment because then we would have what? Move up, move down, move up, move down, break below structure, come back. We want to see a retest of the neckline. That could put us in a situation where we see further continuation to the upside as well. So, same things I preach, man. Same things I preach over and over and over. Just listen to it and apply it. I'm trying to tell you. We'll do NZD USD. On the monthly, we are pushing down to the downside, breaking below some structure. We are coming back for a brief retracement, a little exhaustion, and that is on the monthly. If we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that we are extended to the downside, and we are starting to make some sort of retracement. On the daily, we did find a level in the market here, correlating pair as well. A lot of these are going to say the same things. We could see a possible move to the upside. From there, we could have a situation where we want to see a move back down to the neckline that could put it in a situation for further continuation to the downside. So listen to what I preach. I ain't gonna steer you wrong. Now, what have I been saying for the last 5 weeks? USD CHF. USD push the upside, breaking structure, come back for a retracement, weak retracement, weak candles. We have the what looks like the initiation of the start of the next impulse you want to see to the upside for the most common pattern in the market. Just an impulse, a retracement, and another impulse complete. So if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that we are pushing to the upside, breaking above this structure. And then if we do look at the daily time frame, what can we identify is that we did have a push to the upside. Didn't quite come back to retest all this area down in here, but we did come back for a deep retest, and then we started the next move to the upside exactly as we'd like to see. And then just to go to a little further in depth on this, this is a trade that I am currently actively in, and it was a signal sent out to the people in the group. So yeah, sitting up about 82 pips, somewhere right around a 1 to 1.3 right now, risk free. We are risk free riding this, so just looking for a nice 3R on this. Take profit. Just want to see the same thing I'm preaching you all, man. I'm risk free by the time the market gets up to this area, so if it rejects, it doesn't really matter. Its trade was never really destined to set to play out anyway. But if it does go on to break and complete the most common pattern in the market, just the same thing it does over and over and over on all time frames, then I'm in for that as well. And then last of the USD majors, I don't know, does Bitcoin count as a major? Well, not a Forex currency, huh? Not a Forex pair, but I guess it would have to go into crypto. But on the monthly of USD JPY, we are pushing to the upside very aggressively. And then on the weekly, we are coming into this level of resistance that if we look on the daily, we've pointed out that's been tapped into a few times that we would like to see broken above before looking for buy opportunities after a retracement comes. That would be ideal. So let's slide down to BTC USD from the monthly time frame. What have I been saying? Previous structure resistance over here. I want to see it act as previous structures or current structure support. So we can just anticipate that this area, the market should hold. This 18,000 area has been holding the market quite nicely, honestly. If we do look at it on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are coming into this level right around here, the 18,000 level, where we are starting to get a little rejected. If we do break to the upside, we could put ourselves in a possible TMCP, or we could see further continuation to the upside as well, but not likely until 2024 is when the real move to the upside is going to be made. I mean, there will be some moves to the upside, some attempts, then I think that there will be some sell-offs before that, because it is such a far ways away and it is such a predictable thing that is going to happen in 2024 that a lot of people will know about it. They need to manipulate the charts in some way. They can't just blatantly, manipulate the charts, but they have to do something, invoke some type of emotion to make you press the button when you really shouldn't. So, and I mean by the market makers, big banks, hedge funds, those people, the ones that move the market. Hit you with a fun fact. A lemon contains more sugar than a strawberry. So, with that said, anybody in the chat got anything, any pairs they want me to look at, anything they want? I can set you up real nice. You want a day trade, a swing trade? What we doing? Nobody. Going once, going twice, thrice. Nice. All right, that's it. We're gonna keep it short and sweet on these days. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Really could do every day, honestly, but we're just gonna keep it right there. Not gonna go overboard with it because I want to stay consistent and do this consistently. I want to do this for a long time, up to a year, hopefully. But yeah, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays from now on, from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be hosting a live stream sometime within there, going over the major pairs and giving out some free signals, some free game if anybody wants to come in and ask for it. So yeah, man, just really want to create a good environment for people to come hang out and chill, learn something, and kick it. So with that said, I hope you're having a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time, I holla. End it.